There's a silent crisis happening across every major city. The cost of rent has grown faster than salaries, faster than inflation, faster than logic itself. For an entire generation, housing has quietly shifted from a basic need to a luxury product. Analysts call it market correction. Tenants call it a trap. In most developed countries, rent has doubled or tripled in the past 2 decades, while wages barely moved. Owning a home, once a cornerstone of adulthood, has turned into a statistical anomaly. It used to be simple: work hard, save for a few years, buy a small apartment, pay off the mortgage. Now the same story feels like a fairy tale. Property prices rise 10% a year. Salaries crawl up by 2. Every month, rent consumes a bigger slice of income, leaving nothing to save. The result? An entire generation stuck in motion. They move cities, change jobs, share spaces, not because they are free, but because permanence has become unaffordable. The dream of owning a home hasn't just been delayed, it's been deleted from the list of realistic goals. Zoomers and millennials grew up believing that adulthood came with stability. Instead, they inherited volatility, a world where landlords replace employers as the main source of anxiety, where having a place means having it temporarily, until the next price hike. This isn't just an economic shift, it's a cultural one. The idea of home, once a foundation of life, has turned into a rental agreement with a notice period. Somewhere along the way, housing stopped being about shelter and turned into a commodity, an asset, a vehicle for capital growth. The square meter, once a measure of space, became a financial product with its own speculative market. This is where everything broke. Prices no longer reflect the value of living in a home, they reflect the hunger to profit from one. Apartments are bought not to be lived in, but to be flipped, rented, or simply parked as a safe storage for money. And who are the so called investors? In theory, they are individuals looking to secure their future. In practice, they are often corporations, funds, or owners with dozens of properties. The kind of players who can raise prices faster than ordinary people can earn their paychecks. They call it demand. But this isn't demand for living space, it's demand for yield, for return, for appreciation. The same logic that trades oil and soybeans now trades neighborhoods. As a result, the price per square meter lost all connection to reality. It floats above the economy like a balloon, detached from wages, detached from productivity, detached from human life itself. Cities are filled with empty apartments, owned but uninhabited, while real people can't afford a single room. It's not a housing market anymore, it's a casino with walls, and the players with the deepest pockets always win. What we are witnessing is a quiet return to feudal logic. Only this time the castles are condos and the lords wear Patagonia vests instead of crowns. Ownership used to be a milestone, the proof that you'd made it. Now it's a family heirloom, passed down like a medieval title. For everyone else, rent is a new tax on being alive. You can change cities, change landlords, even change countries. The payments never stop. The system doesn't punish laziness, it punishes lateness. Miss a single month, and your entire life can vanish into a cardboard box. We like to think we are free because we can move. But constant movement isn't freedom, it's rootlessness disguised as flexibility. A generation that can't own space can't build permanence. You can't raise children or grow communities on 12-month contracts. This isn't just economics, it's psychology. People who rent forever start to think short term. They buy fewer books, fewer plans, fewer things that last. They build lighter lives because anything heavier is a liability. Meanwhile, the older generation tells them to just save more, as if skipping a cup of coffee could close a 500% gap between wages and home prices. It's an advice from a world that no longer exists. What's left is a class of nomads, not the adventurous kind, but the involuntary ones. The rent tired, the priced out, the permanently temporary. When systems fail, someone has to take the blame. And somehow it's never the system itself. Government officials and bankers talk endlessly about financial literacy, as if the reason people can't buy homes is that they don't understand spreadsheets, as if budgeting app could breach a 20-year wage gap or stop hedge funds from buying entire neighborhoods. The story is convenient. If you can't afford a home, it's because you're not disciplined enough, not smart enough, not investing in yourself. It turns an economic failure into a personal flaw. It replaces collective policy with self-help slogans. The housing crisis gets rebranded as a mindset problem. Politicians tell young people to work harder while approving tax breaks for those who already own 5 properties. Real estate ads keeps using the word opportunity, even as entry-level prices climb beyond reach. And through all of it, a strange kind of gaslighting takes hold. You start to believe that maybe it is your fault, that if you just worked one more job, launched one more side hustle, skipped one more vacation, you'd make it. But deep down, you know the math doesn't add up. The truth is simple. You can't out-hustle a broken market. Home ownership used to mark the start of adulthood. Now it marks the border between two parallel worlds, the owners and the renters, the secure and the temporary. For baby boomers, property was a reward for effort. For Zillennials, it's a lottery ticket won before birth. If your parents owned a house, you might inherit stability. If they didn't, you inherit volatility. Forever one rent payment away from panic. The divide is no longer just about money, it's psychological, cultural, generational. Owners think in decades, renters think in months. And that's the quiet cruelty of modern capitalism. It tells both groups they are living the same life, the same economy, the same freedom, the same chance, when in reality they play on completely different maps. This isn't envy, it's arithmetic. When assets grow 30 times faster than wages, it's not ambition that separates people, it's time itself. Those who bought early live in a different reality, one that compounds while others decline. So the new class system doesn't wear crowns or uniforms. It's made of deeds and rental contracts. It's the distance between the mailbox with your name on it and the key you have to return every year. The housing crisis isn't just about prices, it's about time, continuity, and a quiet sense of belonging that disappears when no one has a place to stay. Without homes, people stop planting roots. They don't invest in neighborhoods because they might leave next year. They don't build friendships beyond a lease because leases end. Even cities begin to lose their soul, replaced by a rotating cast of tenants chasing the next affordable district that never stays affordable for long. Home ownership once linked generations. Families passed houses down. Streets carried memories. Now we pass passwords and temporary addresses. We live in places the way we stream shows, one season at a time. And that's the real cost. When everything becomes temporary, the future becomes abstract. It's hard to imagine having children when you don't know where you'll live next spring. It's hard to feel as a part of society when you are treated as a visitor in every corner of it. A market that turns homes into commodities doesn't just price people out of property, it prices them out of connection. If nothing changes, we'll end up with entire generations without roots, without memories attached to walls, without the simple comfort of knowing a place is truly theirs. There's no single fix for a system this deep, but maybe the way forward isn't about buying back the past, it's about building something new. If owning a house is no longer realistic, then ownership itself has to evolve. Small cooperatives, shared spaces, collective investment, not the glossy co-living sold by startups, but genuine communities where people pool what they have and protect each other from the volatility of the market. Technology gave us tools to connect across borders. Maybe it's time to rebuild local roots. A few friends can buy a building together. 10 families can form a housing trust. Crowdfunding doesn't have to fund gadgets, it can fund shelter. And beyond money, the concept of home has to be rewritten. A home isn't defined by a deed or a square meter price. It's a network that keeps you from falling when things go wrong. It's a set of people who notice when you disappear for a week. Capitalism wants us to believe we are consumers first and citizens second. But shelter was never meant to be a luxury product. It's a foundation for everything else: health, families, culture, hope. Zoomers and millennials aren't doomed because they rent. They are doomed only if they stop imagining alternatives. Because the real revolution isn't everyone owning a house, it's everyone finally belonging somewhere. Maybe we don't belong to the places we were born in anymore. Think about it. Just think about it.